I'm glad to be here today. This is December 8th in Australia. I am Dr. Brenda Jean Power. Doctor represents metaphysics. So, what is the nature of being? So, this show is about Medicine Woman Solution. This is where your soul has a solution. We're going to be talking about something a little different. Like some people say, "Oh, did you have to have a, um, you know, big dramatic a moment so it changes your life?" And I'm curious, have you guys had to have a near death experience? Did you have to have some type of awakening? And what is this awakening type thing? And well, that's what we're going to be talking about. Um, is some people, there's a surface awakening, but the true awakening is when your soul and you, the you that is being this program, this walks around, has a family or friends or a job or this and that, and it is the external that's doing its best. And but when you wake up and realize, hold on, I'm not my things, I'm not my kids, I'm not a wife, I'm not a house, I'm not this, but these are parts that make up who I am. And you're like, okay, what's happening there now? Some of you have had this and some of you have not. But when your soul begins to see different perspectives, not necessarily the programmed you, but your soul. And a lot of people, oh, do I have a soul? I sold my soul, or I did all these things. But the soul, and as a soul coach, I can tell you there was moments. Okay, I've had different experiences where I was choking to death. I didn't know it was an asthma attack. It was like I've had maybe one or two, but didn't connect the fact that that's what it was. I remember going to work and I'm all ready and I choked on nothing. And the next thing you know, I can't breathe. So I picked up the phone, 911, and I hit the floor. And I just remember going to a space of black. Okay. And nothingness. There was like no sound, so I wasn't hearing my left brain, and I think I was just in my right brain, but it was just a black space. I knew I wasn't dead, but yet I could also see my body, trying to survive by jolting and moving, and but I could also couldn't feel the fear in that state. I could witness that it was fear in the body, and my mind was like, wait, what? You know, how come I'm not, it wasn't disassociation. There was an actual different kind of experience. And of course, um, I got my breath back and here I am today. But that was not what really woke me up. I mean, that helped me begin my journey. But today, here I am studying about health. I'm giving you tools about energy, how to do things, how to get your brain back when you start to feel mentally and emotionally upset. Um, you know, but how did I get here? And the profound awakening, because before it was, oh, there's God, this is it, this is great. But this is a transformation. It's not a church God. This is God. This is the ultimate source. This is the creator of all that is. And there is a different relationship that can occur. So profound that you can't help but to look through your soul to see different perspectives. So now you're talking about years later, after, my mother passes and I get married, and when I'm about 28 and I'm having kids, and, again, keep going. Because 1994, I was married, and then, but it was 2012, and I'm sitting there, well, not 2012. I'd have to say a little bit before that. I think it was in the year 2000s. And I'm looking and listening to what is the soul thing. So my search is about the soul, not just about health, but the soul. And I came upon, I think it was Deepak Chopra and I'm going to say her name wrong, but Shakti Gawain, Shakti Gawain. Can't say her name right. But anyways, it was a soul conversation and it was just on a cassette. And I listened to it and it was like, what are we attracted to? What do we vibe to? Why, if we have insecurities in us, we will seek out those that have the securities and give us that experience that we can't get past that limitation. But if it's too much, then we're going to be stuck in this position of it's going to be stress and more insecurities. And I realized that that was fascinating to me. And so I had this opening in my mind that was like, wait, wait. And I had to think about it, different perspectives. And it grabbed me and it made me curious. It made me actually thirst to want to see different perspectives, to understand why we relationship wise have attracted in what we've attracted in. What is missing in us that we feel that we have to be completed by another? And yet at the same time, if you want love, you have to love yourself and you already have to see yourself whole. These are all the things that I began to learn and to understand. And as I began to love myself, I could not live as the surface human being that most of us are used to living. We look for things outside of ourselves to please us and to make us happiness and joy. And so let's take the emotion, happiness, joy. And I said, am I truly happy? Am I truly joyful? Oh, yeah, yeah. I've got a husband. I got 2 kids. I got a home. I've got food. I've got all these things. So yeah, I'm happy. And my husband and I get along. And yet I did not realize that I was very unhappy. So, on a soul level, as I started to get connected more with understanding, communicating, listening to my soul, getting that bridge, getting the glossaries to understand, I started noticing different perspectives even further. And then there was the price that I had to pay. What's the cost to have what I have? I'm thinking, and my soul is saying it shouldn't cost you anything to be yourself. You were born in your body, not anybody else's. And I'm like, well, what is the cost? Well, the cost was, all right, be gaslit, believe everything they say, just shut up and listen, and then they'll be happy. And these are all the programs that I had as a child. If you wanted your mom to not pester you, scold you, care-coercing, that's a really big one. People don't realize that they had happened to them or they're passing that on. But care-coercing is a really strong manipulative way of being, and it's very unhealthy. And just in a short sense, what is care-coercing? What does it sound like to you? I'd like to hear your comments. What do you think care-coercing is? And at first, you're like, well, I know what care means. I know what coercing means. But to put them together, some of you may recognize it as very simply your parents know best for you, or your husband, or your wife, or your whoever's the elder, or who knows best for you. And that's not true. They may know how to do this outside thing, but this is an inside job. This is about you deciding who you are, what you want to do. Hello. What is it that makes you you? And can you connect with that part on a soul level? Can you connect with that part? And a lot of people cannot, because they don't know they're supposed to, or even what that looks like. And so, as the more I change my inner world and face the fact that I want to truly understand happiness, not just hope to chase it down, and or somebody fills in that other half. I want to hold it as a container all the time, no matter how life unfolds. Care-Coercions, they think they know best for you, and you have to learn to, you have to do these steps with that care-coercing. And it's just very strong beliefs that if I do this, then you should too. And, if we don't want you to die, we want you to take this medicine. We make you do this, we make you do that. Oh, you shouldn't go have that job. You shouldn't go live there. And this just isn't about parenting, it's about everything. And it's basically how they feel about themselves. Old belief systems were simply, oh, how that child turns out will depend on how the parent is. But that's not necessarily true either. Because if the child is born with certain types of, like for instance, you and your husband are completely different, and you can see in the child these traits, these little nuances that the child will take after more. Got a sore spot right here. Like, why is there a sore spot? So we got to get the energy moving here. That's why if you watch me do this, it's because I don't need this to be congested or any form. So you have to decide, like, what is your moment of waking up and looking at life from a different perspective? So in Medicine One Solution, we have a glossary for words, and we have what's called the kaleidoscope of perspective. And this is a kaleidoscope of life. And it is, where are you dialed into, tuned into, or where are you hyper-focused? And can you see the opposite? Because we live in the world of opposites, and we need to understand to get the wisdom to be able to evolve. And a lot of people, again, when we're talking about living, most people live through their face. Okay, so what does that mean? So in the glossaries, living through your face. So living through your face is that your brain has memorized your daily routines, how are you supposed to act, how are you supposed to respond, how you're supposed to behave, and this is your personality. This is what you want people to see. And when you are learning to suppress who you are, you're learning to take care of the pain by ignoring it and overcoming, the body will scream at you, even though you're just living through your face. And so you're looking out and you're ignoring the body. You're looking out and it's not deep, it's very superficial. Thank you. But it's not bad. It's just, how do you connect to have a happy life? Your soul is the biggest key, but a lot of people don't understand. They think that, oh, when I die, that's when I'm going to be my soul. No, you are soul 24/7. Okay. You're operating as this character, but the more in touch you are with that particular essence of your being, the more all of a sudden you'll have this particular awakening where all of a sudden you'll see different perspectives, a higher frequency perspective, more wisdom will appear. You just don't live by the emotions. You pause at the emotion as you're about to react or feel the experience, and you're right in the middle of, and then all of a sudden you're in the spirit. So this is that live action being. Oh, thank you. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, it's like a pause. The past and the future are on pause. You're in this now moment, and it's like this little decision that you normally would be automatic response of saying yes to. You're pausing and you're going, do I want to? Do I need to? Do I need to? No, I don't need to. So you're learning to question. And it's like, well, what is this costing me? So being a good girl cost me a lot. To be a caretaker or servitude cost me a lot. Oh, it says I got restrictions. Can't have gifting suspended and live visibility restricted. So that's interesting. So how do you show up? How do you show up? How does the world tell you, the external tell you that you're doing wrong? going against my standards. But if you look at the standards in one and then you go to another, and it's perfectly fine. I'm going to say my computer. I think my screen is dirty. Give me a second here. Now it's a lot better. And so sometimes you have to clean that lens that you would look through. You have to stop living in this space and listening and saying, can you tell me how to live my life? What's the right way to do it? You changed your mind. You're against that. Okay, I'm too. And or somebody has got to be home. And when you realize that you don't have to live through your face, you don't always have to take offense or be scared or fight or attack or just live as emotions, but there is a soul present. You're beaming yourself into this television set called you. The lights are on. You're able to play and use the sensory system and partake. But are you really living as a soulful being? And I teach people how to live as a spiritual human. And a lot of it is through education, but it's up to you to pause. What am I feeling? I'm scared. Understanding how to name that emotion, measure it, and then use a tool to transform out the emotional chemical peptide that tells you this is how you're supposed to be. It's not necessarily true. As you begin to wake up, what does that mean? Who's the waking up? Your soul. You'll feel this soul's urge. But can you, as a program, begin to notice? No, it's usually your soul will begin to notice the program. Now, the program is not anything evil. It is the way the brain was designed so that as you're learning, you're going to fumble. You're not going to recognize it until someone points it out. You're going to bump into things until you fine tune. And then the brain says, oh, I don't have to learn the first few steps. I've already did it. So it becomes very sufficient. And it streamlines. And then you become this program that you're an automatic response. But this is what you have to wake up from. Bear with me. So I dropped a fork, and my automatic response, my program says, oh, man, got all emotional. Says I'm supposed to react to like, oh, I got to clean a fork. Oh, that, now I got to bend over. Oh, I dread. And my spirit goes, do you honestly want to respond this way? And I'm like, but I am. A live experience. Glossary word, a live experience. And I'm present as my spirit self watching this program play out, but the live experience is happening, but I could be as spirit in the now going, was it necessary to emotionally knee-jerk response? And my brain goes, no. Well, what could I do? Flip the script. And I paused and I said, okay, and a 1 and a 2. It was exercise. And who knows? It might have been dirty, and that's why I was just prevented being sick. And so I threw it in the sink. Instead of complaining, is that's all I ever heard my environment do. I learned from my environment to be so dreaded, so this, so that. But I don't need to be the first 7 years of my life. Because it's a belief from the Jesuits that you show somebody the first 7 years of your life, and you'll tell them the kind of man or person that they will become. And then another live experience that gave me this particular awakening. Again, you don't have to have dramatic awakenings. You can just feel the soul's urge that there's something different and learn to pay attention differently. So I'm rounding the corner and I bumped into the wall and I'm like, ow, oh my God, oh, so dramatic. And I paused and I'm like, did I really touch that wall? No. So it's a memorized response. Yes. what the hey? And I'm like, I need to show up more. No, I called my energy back. I cancel, clear, delete, and I said, no, there's a wall. There's a limitation. There's a wall. Okay, no big deal. And then what flashed in my head was when my children, they would fall. I didn't give it a lot of, it was, oh, so I can't remember, it was something my daughter did. I said, well, that wall just stepped in front of you. She goes, what? I stopped her from having to go into this reaction. She looks at the wall and she goes, it's a wall. I says, what do? We walk around it. So my daughter can hurt herself, but she doesn't go into the dramatic knee-jerk response. She just, and then just walks on. She realizes there's a wall there. Have you ever stopped to think about the knee-jerk responses that you have? Hi, how are you doing? And I began to notice again these little things that do I need to be this programmed knee jerk response? And so my surface of me was that I was happy. I've got a husband, I've got kids, I've got a house, I've got food. Yeah, there's a lot to complain about, but there's a lot to be happy about. So I would just say thank you and thank you. And I was putting up with gaslighting, which I didn't know was a thing, and um, the cost of okay, I better not say anything, I better be polite. I learned from my that it's just easier just to go along with the program and it'll be over soon and then I can have my happiness back. And and I'm like, whoa, the cost is me, not knowing me. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be at this age right now learning about me. We cut ourselves out of the equation, even though you look at the world and they go, oh, they make it all about themselves. It's yes and no. But on a spiritual sense, it's costing you your authenticity. It's costing your sovereignty, the ability to govern. It's costing your autonomy, the right to be able to govern. And we do it through how do we live, survive when somebody is screaming and going crazy and mad and dictating and you're like, whoa, and I'm going to get my butt whipped, or don't talk back. So you learn to be expressionless. You learn to resent. You learn to be these programs. I mean, I could never talk back. So when I'm in my adult relationship, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I already lost the fight before it began because it didn't matter what I said. But I never had practice talking. I never got practice to understand how to fight back. And so my marriage gave me that ability to feel safe to fight because I didn't like fighting. I avoided fighting because that's all I ever saw growing up, my first 7 years. And so I'm he gave me this ability to get a voice. It gave me the ability to get a voice. Oops, wrong one. Um, and so it's like, okay. Um, and it's like I learned so much with the people, and I don't ever regret being with these people. Yes, I love them. Yes, oh, thank you. Yes, I've done this. Yes, but at the same time, I can't do it anymore because it's not me. My vibration changed, my thought patterns changed. I became a different person. And as I began to listen more to my soul, the more it would piss off people that were in programs and just wanted me to stay as this program. But I didn't want to stay as they wanted. I've had people come up to me and say, well, you need to go back and obey your husband. And I'm like, oh, heck with that. No. What do you mean? Well, you need to put up with his abuse. I'm like, no. I mean, there was no physical abuse, no sexual abuse, nothing of all this stuff. Okay. You understand? There were just little things that cost me my sanity. And I'll tell you, I kept saying I'm happy. So when we got divorced, everybody's like, well, you were lying, you were faking it. No, as a surface, on this looking through my face, I was happy. And I couldn't understand why I felt like I was going insane, why I felt so sad, why I felt so depressed, why I felt such anxiety. Because I know every time I go to speak, then if it didn't fit, it would be shut down, or my reality was being challenged and doubt won. And I was convinced. And so therefore, how did I trust myself? And so I'm confused of how, oh, thank you, confused of how these things worked. And I'm like, so on a soul's urge, the soul says you're not living your best life. Your soul, my soul was saying that my frequency is changing. I have a higher purpose. My soul was me, and I'm okay to find me. So now I'm hit this stage in my life where I want you to be happy too. I will hold that space because I've been there. Yeah, I shrunk myself, but I didn't need to anymore. So I realized I don't want to pay the price anymore just so I can have relationships with a friend or a mate or family. And so when I say it's okay to lose your family and friends, when you make that decision to find love for yourself. It isn't about, I love myself, let's take 1,000 pictures, love myself. Again, not through the face, not surface level, but on a soul level. You know there's more to life than this. And you will feel this knowing the moment you start to live that life as your soul. And when you start to integrate how to be a human and how to be spiritual, and you're like, how to become a spiritual human. And anytime I help people, they'll go, like I'll say, hey, do you want to go back to the way you were? And how many of you would answer, yes, let me go back. Let me take, and what was it, the blue pill and the red pill? Let me take the one that makes me go back to sleep. No, I want you to wake up. I want you to listen to your soul. I want you to use tools. I don't want you to be the victim anymore that says that I have to suffer. I'm in pain. I have to do this. I have to do that. I don't want, I want you to wake up the way I did. And you don't have to have dramatic moments. It is shifting those perceptions and those perspectives that can create a miracle in your life, because you don't have to live for others. You weren't born in this body to be somebody else. And it can be, seems to be, when you work with fear, that it's quite scary to find out who you are, but it's not. Because when you start to break down those knee-jerk response, stop, pause. Do I need to cry myself to sleep? Do I need to believe this way? Do I need to have doubt? Do I need to live it? You stop. I'll give you a tool to help balance the brain, to bring blood back up to the frontal lobe that creates reality. I will help you rub the certain points on your skin so that all of a sudden the energy goes through your brain and starts balancing the brain. And the computer of your brain goes, wait, 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 wait. It'll say error, that this was supposed to be the knee jerk, but yet new information is coming in. We need to recalibrate. And then when you as a soul, you see the feather? So you as a soul, somebody's got a message from their mama. You as a soul, you go, wait a minute, here's my moment to switch. Here's my moment. When you allow yourself to say, wait a minute. So self-discovery and inner healing. The moment you begin to notice that it is in the discovery is the recovery. You need to heal instead of deal. That you'll learn to resolve those unresolved, continued drama stories. And you become something more than a story. Instead of just an automatic program that's living through the face And you can only see this. That's it. And live in fear. People said, no, I don't want to go back. Because your soul is going, oh, this is so much more clear. So when you begin to set your intention every day that it's happiness, and then all of a sudden you're doing what you're doing, and all of a sudden you have a knee-jerk response where you feel this, you can stop as your soul and go, wait a minute. That is not happiness. Where did I lose my power? Where did I give it away? Where did I accept, believe, and give my willpower away? I don't want to live that way anymore. I don't want to keep creating my life that way anymore. And then when you step up to the plate and you're like, it was this emotion. This is how much the emotion is. This is how I know it. And then you use tools like success, hope therapy, source point, rubbing points, EFT tapping, and other tools we have. All of a sudden, you start to listen to the body, and the body says, yeah, I can't do that anymore. And because again, I had this in another awakening that I can't keep living this life. I'm happy, I'm joyful, as a human that says I can measure what my quantity is. But to go inside to actually know what happiness and joyness is, I could look and it's like, I'm done looking through my face. I'm done looking through that. The people that I'm around, I no longer was in frequency with. I no longer can say, wait a minute, I have to convince myself that I'm happy because I have my checklist. And then when I learned that I was a good girl and that I was doing servitude and that somebody could program me by just gaslighting me, and I believed in the power of doubt, and I let fear be my master. And when I decided, no, I'm done, and I started to heal the mental and the emotion, through the soul, through listening to my soul, listening to my higher connection, I was not separated anymore. So I can pause while everything's happening and go, do I need to respond this way? No more flippant speaking, no more automatic program. No. And you get to really feel this knowingness, this joyfulness. And when you go realize you're doing that program and you stop in the middle of that program, that can be your awakening. You listen with spirit. I'll give you a free reading in a moment. Just hang in there. If I've never given you one before, I'll give you a free reading. Do you want to be happy? Stop living through the face. Stop, because, okay, here was the other person's subspace. Well, you're faking it. Now that's a strong word. At the time, I didn't know I was living through my face. I was happy. My checklist was there, but inside I was miserable. And I'm like, huh? And the program was faking it. And when I woke up to that I was doing a program, I said, no, I can no longer say that I'm happy with this person or with the way that we do things. I can't, because I'm physically dying. That's not aging. That is loss of life force power to programs, which you can heal out. You change your personality. You overcome these particular beliefs and programs. And I get here. I finally decided, oh my gosh, I can't. I'm living the wrong path, living the wrong life. I'm not with the right frequency of people. And this happened on a soul level. People around me are like, oh, you were lying to us. You weren't happy all the time. We thought you had a great marriage. I wasn't lying, but all of a sudden I got another deepening, awakening, and going, I learned about gaslighting. I learned about what that cost me. And I don't want to do that anymore. And having to look at the person that I was so convinced that I loved and realize I'm just an object. I'm letting a program control my soul. I couldn't do that. And they didn't love me the way that love is meant to be felt and to know. And it didn't matter what conversations we had. I was the crazy one. And I thought, I can't. Okay, so I started to live as me. And I have no shame over it. That it led me here in Australia, because I lived in Michigan. And I just took a leap. And the universe says, I gotcha. And I kept working and communicating and integrating with my soul, integrating my personalities, integrating and letting go of these stories, letting go of the emotional components that said I was tied to this. I truly love myself. I truly love my life. And I look back and I'm like, God, I have happiness. But it's in those perspectives. Without you changing those perspectives, you will keep repeating the program that you know. You have to tell the brain. You have to take charge over the emotion. Your soul needs to step up. You need to hear the fact that your soul already stepped up. It's circling you, waiting for you to go, oh my God, that's me. And then you start to live more as you, the natural essence of who you are. Stop looking through your face, but looking through that heart as a consciousness. You have to put the NES on the end of conscious to understand it is a state of awareness, but it is also consciousness. It is the ultimate. It is the creator of all that is. It is within you. It is you are the substance from it. You come into this reality, just frequencies and vibrations. If you really go down to the physics of what is in a cell, what's beyond a cork. And if you need in knowledge will get you to, oh, wait a minute. But the moment you follow doubt, you're already believing in fear. And fear does not hide. Fear does not have to control you. So ever since 2019, I have a great life. I'm ready to come to the world, and whoever wants to follow, whoever wants to look at their life, use tools, transform themselves into something greater than just living as a program, a knee-jerk response and living through your face, but living as a deeper, this soulful being. And yes, I'm here for you. If you're not ready for it, no big deal. I got some blue tack and it's like, oh no, don't play with it. I'm proud of all of you that I've met and that have dove in and going, okay, this moment is eating me alive. And then you can measure it and start using tools, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa. And those that have witnessed and watched your growth, and you keep beginning to miss yourself when you go into these old programs and you get yourself out, amazing, keep going. Because you are listening more with your soul, keep going. And this mental and emotional crap shows that we have all the time, the drama doesn't have to be. Because the wisdom is hidden in those emotional components that tell a story, tells you what to think. You have created a resolution for these moments. Inner healing is real, but somebody's got to receive it. If your soul is the one that's looking, going, I'm finally present, you can get rid of being a victim. And you don't need to make anybody a victim. You learn to live as and respect. And you get to unfold in many different ways. I hope this makes sense to you. Because happiness is an inside job based on the fact is who's inside. It's not the knee jerks. It is your soul. And that's the good thing. That's the best thing. But don't let your ego, the over-identification with matter, that lens that your brain says, oh, this is life, and you go to sleep, and then you have to fake happiness. No, you will get to know true happiness. And when you're waking up at different stages and you believed you were happy, and it really you weren't, and that's not faking it. You're working up in stages in these different perspectives, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa. Me and my husband were doing our thing yesterday, and we just kept looking at each other going, we're happy. We have a great life. It is, we did our time, but it's not just doing the time. It is waking up and not feeling you have to search for anything or you have to do a checklist. But when you look at all of the things you get to do as that soulful being, you're not just sitting on your ass. And then because I'm past 50, I'm working on the body. I'm working on making sure that this physical body is heard. And what is the metaphysical meaning of pain? How do we heal it out? And how to support this physical body, help support the fascia, because it's your whole body's listening all the time and you're shaping it based on your thoughts, your feelings, and words. But if you're only living through your face, you won't feel those programs of pain and overcoming. No, heal the root. Heal the root. Okay, we're going to have a great show. And the next part of our show is looking at, do you want a reading? Some of them you get free. Some, if you want healing as far as with just a reading, then you can do 5, 15, or 25. It depends on what you're going to do. So what we have, oops, that's not, oh, I did bring it in. See, I knew I probably did. Yeah, I caught myself as I'm turning the corner and I ran right into this thing that was sticking out. It was like, oh, yeah, it left a mark. I was curious about that. I didn't look and see it anymore. I didn't have to believe in the pain. So that was good. Okay. So got my, what is this? Remarkable. Okay. So we have Amy coming on. She's going to be doing the video. And we're going to also get an update and see where she is. I need to open up my email so I can see who else is paid. Hi, Ashley. Yes, I'll give you a reading. You can have one. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So when I do a reading, you can't see it, but I have a clock, and that'll be your timestamp. So you can always watch these all on YouTube. You can watch as many times as you want, and give a like, subscribe to helps bring this message out to the rest of the world. We have, like I said, Amy's for video. We have April Lynn for chat. Well, I need to spell her name right. Goodness gracious. And again, you can have a free reading, but I'm not going to give you probably won't give you healing tools unless spirit tells me otherwise. What else do we have? Well, that's funny. Oh, autumn chalk-lime. Coco and you. So then there's 2 readings for Coco and for Miss Autumn. Excellent. And then again, like I said, we have Amy Teresa P. Yes. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just going to read this real quick. So the body needs to get back. So we're going to listen to what metaphysically what her body is telling her. Right now, her body is showing up as a shit show. And she's like, okay, I'm so over this. It's affecting the sensory system. And we will read how the meridians communicate and how the body holds itself in that space. Okay. So I'm going to take Ashley over here because Spirit's telling me to do that one. And I do a small reading for free. Anything particular? Because I like to connect with people. I need you to resonate with what your soul is saying. And then if you resonate with what I'm talking about emotionally, then that means you're ready to start looking at something deeper. But if you can't resonate, then I have to change the way I read. Because I do soul readings. All right, so I'm going to just look up and we're going to do a soul reading for Ashley. Okay, the first thing that comes up is that you've gone through, my whole body's like, it's like, feels like it's not grounded. But at the same time, I'm feeling that I'm irrelevant in no matter what you do. Loving relationships, going through emotional time, single mom, raising kids. That's a lot. Okay, so now we have a direction a little bit further. And I'm paying attention to your body. And the physical body says, I'm stuck in this dark night over and over, over and over, over and over. I said, so the main emotion that comes up with this happens to be erratic behavior. You're creating certain amount of emotions like stress, like you haven't had a break from stress. You know how to do the daily grind, you do all this, but from stress. And so then the your heart and you are like, oh, I hate certain things. So you don't realize that you're like, oh, you have to do this, and you're building up an intolerance of going, I don't like this, I don't like this. So all of the base programs are not enjoying peace and harmony. They're in stress, they're in hate, they're in fear. To the point the body's like going, she's not listening to me. And I said, okay. So we want to help your body get out of that state. But at the same time, you meant to grow and you can feel your self-imposed limitations. And I said, is that because of why? Well, sometimes I feel insecure, but I don't know. So it's like you got to create a certain way of stress to show that you have made it through this much thus far, and you will continue to do it because you're going to get stronger and stronger. Now, you can change these emotional things. Does this make sense of what I just said? Because in order for you to create a future, you have to take care of the roots. You have to take care of some of the talk that happens. And the talk isn't what's happening right now through your face, but when you're sitting there and it's quiet and maybe the kids are in bed and you're like, oh, or those moments in between when you're doing all these things and you're like, I don't like this, I hate this, or oh, I dread this. And then a moment will come out and go, oh, I love this and love that. But oh, you're back into the stress of life. Now, this is where, the rubber meets the road, I guess. Does this make sense to you? Because you can heal this. You can measure it. You can use the body to help you change the emotions that changes the way you think and respond. Again, I believe it's like a 20 or 30-second delay, and then it's got to have time to type. So we'll see how she responds in just a moment. If there's anybody else here, she said yes. Now, you're like, well, anybody can predict that, but I want you to measure it now. Now, this goes beyond the reading. I want you to know how you know it. Pick out the stress. Ugh, maybe it's just a general. I want you to know it. I want you to go, yeah, it's located like right here, even though you're looking here. I want you to say, yes, it has not gone away. It is here. I need you to understand it's taking up space. And it's affecting the nerves. It's affecting the fascia. It's affecting all of it. Now, it's just emotional chemical peptide. And it's percolating. And you have the power to say done, but you physically need to sit there and you can do one thing. And I said I wasn't going to give you a healing tool, but I can. This one's a slower one, but it works. If you can learn to measure it by saying it's right there and it's about this topic and it's a 10, meaning I am so stressed. And you learn that it doesn't matter which hand. You have this point here, and then you have these 2 points here. And if you take your hand and you just put it here, now you can rest, you can lay, you can do this, and you go, oh, and you're focusing. And don't come up with excuses and reasonings because that means you don't want to heal. You are going to go, oh my God, I can feel it. Yes, yes. It's every time this happens. Oh, no. Oh God, yeah. Oh. You give yourself 15 minutes. Your brain is going to shift, because if you can pay attention to with awareness, you're going to go to 10, and then you come back in and you're like, oh, it's an 8. You're healing. Or, oh, the statement of, I can't handle this, too. Okay, I can handle this. But the statements are changing. You are healing. You're changing the way your cells are operating, because the emotional chemical peptides control the cells. But you got to step up as a soul and say, I'm done. I'm done. And you will grab the tool. You can get in there. You can decide, do I want a knee-jerk response to this? Or do I want to say, whoa, I want to be in charge of how I'm living this next moment? You can be in charge. So, Angela, you could go over to Facebook or over the other TikTok, which is MW Solution, I think. And if it's freezing up for anybody else on Dr. B, let me know and I can restart it. It's kind of everything all at once. Within the last week, wrecked a car, lost food benefits, adding more hours at work, barely have any time to relax. Yeah, that's a lot of stress, hon. Plus, my ex-partner is dealing with addiction and he's trying to get free. Okay, that's a lot. Now, it's his responsibility, but it's also as you're holding space for somebody that's going through that type of addiction. Remember, addiction, it means there's a root. An incident occurred and you don't know how to process. So you will go out and find something to cover up that issue. And then when you got that addiction, it's your familiarity, it's your identity. It gave you that relief from that stress of hell that you couldn't process or control. Now, in my line of work, you can snip this in the bud. You'll have to constantly, like, you can keep putting your hand on your head. You can do EFT, look up emotional freedom technique, and you do it every time. And even if he falls and does the addiction, he can heal after the fact, but keep showing up for yourself. Instead of looking at, okay, something is trying to get your attention. You understand? Take care of the emotional chemical peptides. You know you got to go to work. You know that you have a wonderful child. I think probably one. I don't know. But you're so focused on the pain and the sufferings out here that you have forgotten that you can go inside to find your happiness. But it's how you show up to these things. Work, you wrecked your car. You can be a dramatic, you can be upset, you can let it control you, or you can process it out. And most of the time, we don't know how to process this out. Well, I was almost in a car accident and my body was still going the process, and I had to stop. I had to heal myself because it was trying to process. Instead, it was in fear. And I'm like, stop. I do not have to show up this way. And then when my body was feeling better, then everything was fine. I got to go back to my joyful life. But I had to learn how to heal my knee-jerk response. Yes, now you can measure that. You can even EFT that out. I feel anxiety in my chest, even though I feel anxiety in my chest, or anxiety. EFT is an amazing thing. But you can do both. Put the blood back up in your brain. You need to change the way you trained your brain to be the program of how to process life. Because if you don't do that, you're always going to show up in a tizzy, always show up in a knee jerk. You need to change that. Okay. All right. Now, is Miss April Lynn here? Miss April Lynn here. Because if she went to bed, that's fine. Then I can go and I'll know who to read next. Because I go based on the payment. So TP would be next if Miss April Lynn is not here. Okay. Yeah, it takes longer on Facebook, I think. No, YouTube is like 20, 30 seconds. I can't remember. But you can be in charge of all of it, you know. All right, so I'm going to just jump to, is TP here? Is TP here? Now, I know I still have a lot to type out about the metaphysical meanings about that are connected to. Oh, well, good gracious. Where did I do it then? Yeah, so we want to change that. We do need to see why you medically. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Miss TP, we're going to look at there she is. For instance, why does your body need to show up to say? So your body is your body, okay? Your body is showing up the way that it is, and it said because it has to do. They're saying you need to rub. And I'm like, okay, what? Both sides. Oh, this is physiology is screaming. So this is the nervous system. So if this is the case, you're going to do T3 and T3 and T6. Why? Because the physiology is a memorized response. I need that one. And the body is saying that it's holding the pattern in T3 and T6. Okay. And so you need to get in there and start tapping. But what particular thing is that it's what you were scared, what grabs your attention, and you've been stuck in that position. Okay, so you're repeating. Okay. Less leg. I don't understand what's happening over here. Yeah, I realize that myself. So the body, and I said, is there any particular emotion or any of that? It's just that you're bumping up against timid, your automatically alarmed response. And so tap that out, breathe that through. And I'm going to go a little bit further. And then what they really want is me to have you measure elbows or knees. Okay. So at the knee, it's the stomach. Oh, you got a point. Okay, so let me look. The yang in your body, any of them going backwards? Not necessarily. Show me the yin. The yin is at 145. What's the yin? The yang. The yang is 0. So yang is all stuck in your legs. We have to have yin and yang in order to function, to balance. Well, what do you want her to do? Okay, so your anxiety is all stuck in your legs. So what you're going to do is you're going to your anxiety. Your body has created a physical body right now, and it is not healthy. And this here's your kneecap. Okay, here's your kneecap. And this is the bend, right? But over here in the front, you can do both sides, not just left. But if you were put like 4 fingers down from the cap, bottom of the cap, usually it'll line up right there. This is just a little miniature version. And this is, I believe, stomach 36. And it is, you're going to need to push. I don't know if you can handle a lot of pain. It may just feel like there's fluid, but you need to start manipulating that and using a magnet and manipulating, because your energy is kind of like stuck just in your legs, and it's too much yang, and it can be also too much fire. But the body says, I have anxiety. So what they want you to do then, when they said they need you to rub, it is, and I said, tell me which one, and use your magnet on your left large intestine and then your right. And as you begin to do that, you're going to have to notice that you've had a lot of keep them around the homestead, meaning care coercion. The language that your family used so you wouldn't leave the house, whether they talked about a lot of fear or they had no faith in you or however it was, I know what's best for you. You still have a lot of that talk in your head. And as you have this a lot of talk, remember, it's a lot of doubt, a lot of talk in your head. I am watching your body say, I can't move out of this condition because that's all I've memorized myself as. So after you get done doing your large intestine with the magnet and then rubbing deeply, you're going to have to face and look at, I believed, and then you're going to have to listen because you need to do 241 at 2 minutes of listen to your 41 thoughts. Because what I'm seeing is that you had been invalidated about you being in your body, about being who you wanted to be, about your gifts and abilities, that you're so used to it. Your body says, all I know is how to be invalidated. And I'm stuck with this physical body. I'm stuck with this physical body. But we have to get your energies that says, I have anxiety. This is what's happening to me. I'm stuck here. And part of it is that the people I love, it's not about rejecting you, it's about invalidating you. So you may want to look up the word invalidation. And if you can hear this language, one, it could be just because you're a girl. Two, but you're feeling invalidated. And the body is saying, oh, shoot, I'm getting a phone call. I'll have to call him back. Really, what does this mean? Did their attention always go to somebody talking, somebody calling, somebody doing this, somebody doing that? How did you feel invalidated? When you spoke, was there crickets? Or did they change the subject? Or did they look at you like you're stupid? Understanding how your child part of you understood the emotion of feeling invalidated, but it had a lot of words. If you can help EFT and say, wait a minute, why am I still accepting anxiety? Why? So as I'm looking at the body, I feel this anxiety. It is so normal that the body doesn't see it as anxiety anymore. But if you can listen to how the body's talking, so they're telling me one more thing. So if I said, okay, so her body doesn't feel good, her sense of smell and everything is off, and they said this has to do with I can't do it. It's part of how you were little. I can't do it. Are you asked to do something that's going to bring you out of your comfort zone, that's going to require you to become a greater personality than what you were? And does your body automatically go, oh my God, I know this route? Or is somebody trying to put you back into the pigeonhole? Or is this to do with, well, if I do this, this is going to interfere with how I support myself? You have a lot of things going on, but let's start taking care of that anxiety. I would do a few rounds of EFT, but as far as the body goes, to help the body to repair, you need to go down to spleen 21. Get in there and start rubbing this, and then you need to turn on the thymus because the harmonious laughter, the joy that needs to make that thymus and the spleen to go, oh, wait a minute. Now here's the other part. The stomach has to be involved. So I'm asking you to do the 4 thumps. But the stomach, you're going to have to go, wait a minute, I got to turn the stomachs on. You may even have to use your magnets on your face. Then go to your thymus and then go here. You can look at the 4 thumps. You can also learn how to, because your yins and yangs are all built up in your feet. But work on the one here. Get this one to open so that more energy can flow through the stomach meridian like it's supposed to. Okay. When you finally are hearing and saying, okay, I'm being invalidated. I don't have to cry about it, but then you have to say, and you're going to do L2D, left wrist second position D. And you will be focusing on how it is that knee-jerk temptation to always show up this way, be this way. Part of your sickness right now has to do with checking out. I don't want to participate in something, or I'm not allowed to participate. Does this make sense? Somewhere, because I see at least 7 different ages of you having, they all have something in common, but they all have different stories. And with that, it's like if you were to heal out the fact is that you have been stunted and arrested development, I'm not supposed to grow past this. Because they're going to go ape shit, or that scares me and I don't want to be an adult. I don't want to go out in this world. And if that is because that's what I'm feeling, I would definitely hold L2D for that. Okay. All right. Now, if you come over to YouTube, apparently there's a delay, but get a thumbs up. And I think I'll do one more show next week, and then I'll be off for Christmas because a lot of things are going on. Majority of my viewers are from United States, and yes, there's a lot going on. Okay. We're going to go on to Autumn and Coco. So Miss Autumn. Okay, hold on. I feel like there wants to be a song, and yet there isn't. You're welcome, hon. It sounds like a sad song, like, how am I supposed to live? No, we're not singing because I don't want to be canceled. But how it's like, so it sounds like a desperation, a sadness. So they're saying there's a part of following these emotions that but I feel like it's not a response. It's not real. But you, at the time, put all of your faith on the outside to say to you, I'm happy because of this person. I am only here because of this person. Now, they can be a catalyst, but you have done a lot of work. And I feel like you're a baby bird that's getting pushed out of the nest, and you're supposed to check your wings out. They're ready. And then you're going to notice that all these fears, after time goes by, none of it is true. You're supposed to go through this whole pattern, old way of feeling fearful. And that is, I don't want to miss out. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But it is the way people thought as programs. But that's not true. You're going to find that you can adapt, that there's different ways of being, that it really probably doesn't make a difference, and everything's really going to be the same, but the fear that it's all changed. It's the belief that I have no choice because it's changed, and I'm stuck with this. Oh, why is it making it so small that I can't see the... There we go. You can see it. Okay. Again, it's like if I were to ask what ages this the most, it's about 5, and it's not yours. So you borrowed it from a family member that had this type of thinking, and this is the way you're supposed to be. And this happens when you see people that die, move away. So immediately it comes to when I was a girl and my sister moved out to get married. And there was all this sadness and this grief that, oh my God, my life is not going to be the same. And then there was this scaredness and this, So I'm looking around 5 years old, and you don't have to believe this. This is about you waking up and saying, this is how I don't need to do relationships like I used to. You can bond with somebody and you can stay bonded with them. But if they don't want to grow with you, there's not much you can do about it. But at the same time, anyway, that's what I feel. So what would I say for you to heal? I would say you got to get your triple warmer out of the game, because it's trying to manipulate you into going back to programs, back to a sleep. So the triple warmer is going off, and I'm seeing that you are running all of the programs that you learned as a kid, that how people manipulate, how love is used to manipulate, about how sadness, grief, and caring is used to manipulate, and how Care-Coercion is supposed to work. And you're starting to see that you do not want to be this, nor receive this, or do the act of this. You're just like, wait a minute. So you're going to do some SP with me. You're going to do both sides. You're going to use magnet because it's frozen. So go to that point on the back. Okay, right in the middle, right in the back. Do your left side first, then your right, and then you have to use a magnet, then deeply rub. Okay. Once you do that, repeat it, because you have a couple doses, meaning you had one age that did it, you have another age to do it. And it's like I'm supposed to go to this deep dramatic space. So 5 years old and 9 years old. So we want to make sure those don't play the part in this active of a now. Okay. With that being said, you are also going to learn how to do R2S, right wrist, second position, soft, because there's a part of you that is stuck in a startle since after your birth. There's a startle. It is a form of, okay, and this is saying, and it's the triple warmer, that things aren't going to be the same. It's going to be unstable. It's going to, but it doesn't have to be. It's not true. Okay. But it's you as a soul going, wait a minute, I don't have to have these emotional chemical peptides to do this. Okay. So you have to learn the temptation of going there. So this is where you're at on your quest. And as soon as you like the temptation of going, I should feel this way, or I'm feeling this way, and then follow it. It's the temptation. You want to stop before you leap and go there. So L2D, left wrist, second position, deep. Okay. Catch it. Catch it as a soul. Catch it. Measure it. Get it out. She says it makes sense. Wonderful. Oh, I have no idea what this is. I was just looking at YouTube, and it has this crown. It says experience in the crown. So I go, what is this? I open it up, and it says everybody's got these little bit of experiences on YouTube. And Autumn's got #1 spot. That's funny. So I'm not sure what that's about, but that's cool. Different. Now, Coco, ready? Coco is living off of your emotions. Coco is this loyal, loving, hyper focused on you, sensing your every sense. And the one thing is that it's used to reward and punishment as a communications, as learning how to be a loyal dog, as learning how to use behaviors, about learning communication. It's about giving you what you want. Coco is fear of you judging, and says, Mom, you're flippant speaking. Oh, aren't you a cute dog? To why are you so, you didn't hear the word stupid. I'm trying to figure out what kind of flippant language. Oh, why are you being a dumb dog? Stop that. You know, Coco's sensitive to these. Coco is very sensitive to these particular frequency words, the tone, And I don't know if you're using more flippant negative language to help you process, but Coco's like, it feels like a punishment. So Coco doesn't really know how to be confident at certain places. It's doing its best. Coco's doing it best. Um, so if you could go to Coco's left front paw, use a magnet all the way around, both sides of the magnet, all the way around the front paw on the left, and then get in there and just rub all around it, good, like, do you can like 30 times, get all in there. And then just kind of put your hand on the forehead and just, especially if you were using flippant negative language, putting the hand on the head, it can help move the blood flow. And it will help, I think, with the rubbing in this, is going to break that connection, because that's not really what your intention is. But because the dog grew up a certain way, it can't help but go to certain programs. Does that make sense? Okay. That's what I would do. Just the left paw at this point. And if I were to say, like, tapping to the spine, would be down by the butt. Here's the tail, chop up and chop down. You don't have to go all the way up. Just it's doing pH for Coco. And because I feel like Coco is holding a lot of negative emotions of contempt, whether it came from you, from somebody else, if somebody else watched the dog, or in its pup years, and it's taken the energy in. But if you were to disrupt that pattern, you can hold the head and tap at the same time. It could change the way the dog's responding. So it can begin to learn that it wasn't real, but it's the tone mixed with the words that confuses Coco. Okay, did I just say me, Miss April Lynn? You hear, you hear. Okay, Miss April Lynn, you'll heal. Excellent, excellent. Hear me now, I roar. I want to sing it. But hear me now, Miss April Lynn. I want to roar. This is like, I feel your whole being. Wow. Wow. And I love that feeling. It's a very strong, you're welcome, a really strong sense. Okay. So Miss April Lynn, one of the things is that automatic knee-jerk response of being galled, meaning the physical body feels like it's supposed to be galled, or people expect it. So one of the things that you were doing in the scalar field was they would be used to being not liked, and you did not realize that you would feel this feeling for them, like, oh, they don't like me. So let's say this is your mom. Oh, they don't like when I act like this. And you're feeling they're galled, right? Or you're always supposed to be galled by their response. I feel like this could be days of where you do not need to show up that way. This new job, you got it, right? There's a frequency or smell that is so different than any other jobs that it literally is supporting you. Okay? Because what I'm seeing is that I can, and then I can't. I can't, and I can. So your fascia, old belief is I can't, but the blood is like coming alive and says I can. So you've got somewhat of a conflict going on, but at the same time, you aren't The body in the fascia says, I'm not really longing anymore. So do you feel, do you still have this job, right? And do you feel like it's more feels like home, even though you look at some of the people and you think they're not as advanced as they should be? Or they're, or you're like, oh, but the body is so going like, this is home. It's to do with the smells. It has to do with the sounds. It has to do with the whole frequency with the intention of this job, not your intention, but um, the job itself. So this is the intention, and your whole body's going, whew, I don't feel like I have to hang out in the crapper anymore. This feels good. Do you understand? Now, what I'm hearing from metaphysically, what I'm hearing, I better pay attention to. So this is the physical form. And the physical form, ooh, I don't know, anything else here? Really, that one? The physical form is saying is that we don't have to, okay, so it's under love substitute, looking for love in the wrong places. I can only get love this way because I can't have it any other way. That was your old life. But on a soul level, you're beginning to feel, I deserve. I believe in myself. Okay, so the other way of writing love substitute is I believe I am not deserving, living out what needs to be resolved from 0 to 7. So the main root is abandonment, anxiety, emotional ambivalence, neglect, rejection from one that has done the mothering. So whoever did the mothering, whoever showed up as the caring aspect of getting your needs met. Okay, I want to do the float pod. I got a sauna. I got the pool for the cold plunge, but I want to do the float pod. But anyways, what's happening is that this is you looking at, oh, again, it's that root of abandonment. They had to have their life. They had to go into their fears. They had to do all these things. What I feel for you is that you're longing. I keep hearing the word longing, and I asked if it is in the fascia. Yes. Is it in the blood? Not so much. Was it in the blood? Not necessarily. So we're looking at a fascia experience. Fascia. So, what do you want her to do? You keep bringing up fascia. All right, so we're going to look at deficiency overall. Okay, you've been chunking away at it. And you're used to always letting things play out. Speaking when you need to speak and say, I don't accept that. And they said, now we've got to go a little bit deeper on your habits, which has to do with a lot of people that are very egotistical, meaning they're living as their ego instead of their soul. And how the body says, I still take offense to that. Because this is where it gets confusing, because love is love. But the body goes, hold on. And I'm literally watching how your mother would show up to his love while she had all these other programs that were driving her crazy, just like any human that is just human. And the energies to which she would pull in and push out and do really got you feeling this abandonment, wanting, oh, you're writing your story. Oh, I feel some grief as I'm rewriting my story. So she's rewriting her story. She's feeling this grief. Is that part of the, yes, it is. It's part of the deficiency, but it's also noticing. They're going back to that love such emotional. Did you get okay? Look, emotional ambivalence, saying goodbye to family members that are not. Yes, you have to do this. Otherwise, you're sacrificing. What's the cost? So I'm going to look up ambivalence real quick. Having mixed feelings or contradictory ideas about something or someone. And again, old values that I have to have my family and friends, that I have to do it this way. I've got these. This is the way it should be. Now, that's a program talking. As you're beginning to live as you and not care what other people think, not live by the way society says you have to be, or by religion, or by culture, and you have to move on, okay? Because you are forcing yourself to not live as your soul, but to stay incompatible, to fit their reality. You're in charge of your reality. So, to help you look at emotional ambivalence, they're saying they want you to pay attention to how it is, how you were supposed to feel. But emotional ambivalence is to have all of these mixed emotions, contrary to everything else. We need to get you in alignment, and it becomes a territorial thing when other people get your territory and you're freely giving, and all of a sudden you're, and so you have to go on this journey of understanding territory, and you're going to do some right wrist, first position soft. Okay. Does this make sense? Let me see what you said. I notice when I hurry, I have to hurry, reminds, spirit gives a pause. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's look at that. Like, one time, my body, the body, because it's such a program. So me and Alan go to the store. He says, I'll sit in the car. Now, my body goes into old program from what I've experienced before. And I started to hurry, but I also started to feel like I was going to faint. My whole body was going nuts until I said, stop. And so I noticed it was a program because my husband wasn't at his phone. He was completely fine. It was me in the story. And once I changed that, the temperature of my body changed. The hurriness stopped. So these are these deep programs because my body's starting to cough. Without you, I can't. It's the identity. Without you, I can't. Okay. So whether it is constantly thinking I have to have him by my side so I can, or now that you're doing it by yourself and you want to do what you want, but because you have to wait for them, or it's another authority, I can't. So you have these little without you, I can't. It has different type of perspectives. So you'll do left wrist, second position deep. Yes, I understand that. Getting better. Okay. Hurry, 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 hurry. This strong sense of hurriness. If you get caught up in this hurry, immediately start doing EFT. But if you can go, wait a minute, I'm making myself irrelevant because I have to put their needs first, then I want you to do R2S. Okay. All right. Now let me go to, I think it's Amy next. Anybody else here that has been listening and like a free reading? Let me know. Okay, so that's looked at. That's looked at. And wrong screen. Pop it over here. Grab this. Yeah, there we go. Just checking here. Some comments were filtered, so whoever was talking. Hi, Shorty. How are you? Hi, Angela. Okay. Now I've got that. Let's go get okay. So I will so all right, I'll have to we're gonna have timestamps issues, but I will personally go through and find them. I'll do extra work because timestamps are important. Okay. Yeah. I made the mistake of not looking to my personal messages. Oops. But that's all right. That's all right. We can do that. I'll take care of that. I'll find the timestamps unless somebody has been keeping track of it as well. But we will look and take care of it. And hopefully she, here it is. Here she comes. Oh, shoot. View. And hopefully I got it in the right one so we can get you on the screen. Such a delay, but we'll find out. Hi, Amy. How are you? Now, I can't hear you, but I'm going to ask you to do this. And if you don't mind the pictures in the backdrop, some people don't like their picture to be seen. So just be aware that
There we go. Here. I will go over here.
All right, just to let you know, there's some people don't like that. And not
Yeah,
your audience,
exactly.
but
I didn't even
your
think about
household.
it.
Nope, that's totally fine.
I didn't even think about it. Hi, Bailey.
All righty. How can I help you?
Oh, dig in.
Dig in, dig in. All right, so what spirit, oh, good, it worked. What spirit is seeing is that you are meeting up with some timidation. So an old pattern. This old pattern is with osculation, meaning energy from the outside. And the energy on the outside is that there's is that other people? So you resonate with, okay, if I can get this right, you're beginning to resonate with other people's thinking about your adventure that you're doing that they can't do, and they're telling you your horror stories, and the part of you that hasn't healed is going, oh, and the body's going, oh my God. And so you can't help but to go in doubt. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now, I asked Spirit, is it just because? And they go, this has to do with that deficiency you've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
And this deficiency part is when people are to give you examples, you better learn, Missy.
Mm-hmm.
And your 3-year-old self is like bug-eyed. That's what the world's like.
Yeah.
Okay. So your 3-year-old is holding a big chunk of this deficiency. So if I said to you to hold R1S right now, and if I said the word territory, how would territory interfere with what you're feeling right now?
I'm leaving my territory.
Okay, so you're leaving comfort zone, your territory, your identity, and other people's territory are going to do what?
Invade.
Okay, so you were taught to be afraid of the outside. People are going to hurt you. You're always going to be attacked. Oh my God, you won't be able to take care of yourself. So listen to the fears of the first 7 years about you looking to the outside, and we're trained to be so afraid of it that other people are supposed to create it. Oh, now my stomach dropped because this is where I care about you, but I'm going to coerce you. Care-coercing is about, I know what's best for you. And they will hound you. They will badger you. They will attack you. They will cry. They will scream. They will do whatever until you're like, fine.
Yep.
So that song, What's It Gonna Cost You, has been following you for about 4 or 5 days. You started to heal it. Then you got different layers. Now you're
Yep.
actually taking physical steps to leave your comfort zone, to go out
Hmm.
there. And you have to, and this is where there's no gates to hell. It's now, there's no gates. But as you start to approach, to go through, you can hear the gnawing, you can hear the gnashing, you can hear the pulling, getting you
Hmm.
to look and to, do you understand?
Yep.
Okay, notice the breathing, notice the body, feel the uncomfortable. So this is where you're going to pay attention to the body and see where it's being held. Begin to listen.
And it's like I am absolutely freezing right now.
Okay, so that sounds like the trip warmer. And I
Hmm.
said, "What's this about?" And they said, "Well, the physiology is it's supposed to be all yang. So that means that yang that should be 100% is really at 127, about 127. So you're 27 over the mark, so you got more yang, whereas the yin negative. Oh, negative by 10. And that's supposed to be 100. So your yin and yang are completely out of whack. So just begin to notice that you can't have a good idea. You have to lead with fear. You have to lead with protection. You have to lead with, attacking type thing. Okay.
Oh, I just figured it out. I just figured out
Do you
what I
tell?
what
Do
I
you
did.
tell? Do you tell?
So here, it's the chaos energy
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So the
that I
frequencies
picked it
are
up
completely.
without realizing it.
All right. Let me check and see. Is this true? Um, it's more of a no yes. So let me explain. So yes, you're going to feel it, but now let's go deeper. More of an epigenetic thing. So what did you pick up epi wise? Did your family believe that you couldn't do it?
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
people you're staying with still hold that old epigenetic belief. That is actually what you're picking up.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily the people there in their lives, but it's an old belief system from what I can see. Okay.
The signature of it.
So you're doing really good. Keep going.
I keep hearing, I'm seeing the difference. I'm seeing the difference. I'm seeing the difference.
But they don't. And that's the part that hurts because there's no words. I wish Facebook did timestamps, but apparently it don't. That's
Mm-mm.
that's okay.
Mm-mm.
Your little just says, why don't they believe me? Like, so when you're having a conversation, can you literally feel that they don't believe you?
Hmm.
And it's not the adult, it's not the soulful part of you, but I feel this little part that feels that they have to, or you don't really feel that you can be successful. It's like you're
Yeah.
still tight. I got something in my hair.
Hmm.
Still tied to the fact that they're right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm. They're more worried about things than me.
Okay, really notice how you know that, what you just said. The things. Were they worst case scenarios, or were they looking at their life going, oh my God, I'm looking through my memories?
Bringing up bad memories and worst case scenario, I believe.
Okay. So, mm, yes. Okay, so keep feeling. Oh, you just did something. What'd you do? You're supposed to now look at your response that you're supposed to have infamy, to feel bad, that you're a bad child, that you're, if you do not take on their care-coercing, your infamy, you're a bad child. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now remember, this is a physical state, could be a mental state, but you have bad qualities or you're doing bad deeds. You're being disrespectful. This day will live down in infamy. You know, it's just,
Mm-hmm. This is
it's like by not obeying them, it was the most evilest, wickedest act that you could have done.
Mm-hmm.
And feel the hounding, feel this territory invading, feel how you're supposed to say fine or say true, or it's like be so conditioned to believe the doubt is real, to be convinced.
What I'm hearing is not being able to advocate for myself.
Very good choice words.
Um, on the way up here, we had been in the car for about an hour, and I had too much coffee this morning.
Okay.
So I had to ask him to stop, and there was no problem with that. And I'm like, well, I can make it until, another couple hours up, or another like 45 minutes up the road. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can't.
Okay, I want you to. Okay, I had the same kind of story. You have to be a good girl. You have to be on their schedule. So let me ask you. Oh, wow, I can feel it. So I'm a grown ass woman, but somebody else had an agenda. It was their story, this thing. I'm part of it. And automatically, I'm standing in. Yes, I'm going to be a good girl. Yes, I'm on time. Yes, you can't say these negative things about me because I am this and that. And then when I got in the car and I'm in the back seat, all of a sudden it was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. And my whole body, my whole physiology is going nuts. I can't tell them that I need them to stop.
Yep,
Oh my, they're going
exactly.
to oh my God. And the worst case scenario of how they're going to talk, that look, the gestures. Oh my God. Really get into the gestures and the way their stance of their body is, and then their tone. I mean, this person didn't have to say anything. It was, you better be at the door ready with your suitcases. How dare you make me wait? I don't want to wait. You bet. Do you understand that
Yep.
strong sense of, whoa, my
Yep.
God, I better obey? So this is the little girl in you that is, oh my God. And it could not process this, so it felt very deficient because no matter how efficient you were 5 minutes early, everything was perfect. There had to be
Mm-hmm.
one F up. your bladder is like, I gotta pay. And you're like,
Yep.
oh my God, oh my God, this I was doing so good until this. Now I can't really say this. And which should be easy, but yet the child says, what's gonna happen if I say anything? It knows. Now this is where you gotta dive in. And if you're not doing L2D, do L2D right now because
Mhm.
it's like your identity. Without you, I can't. Okay. So it's really controlled by how you are. And you want to say something about I have to pee, but you're like, oh no. So how do you know what's going to happen to you if you said with your family, pull over, I need to use the restroom, pull over, I need to puke, I pull over. Do you understand? What's
Uh-huh.
the worst thing? Is it the yelling? Is it the screaming? Is it the disappointment of the face? Is it the energy of their disgust, or that they're taking offense, or they're it just does not feel like easy peasy. It feels very uneasy.
It's uneasy. I just had a memory pop up when I was, I don't know, 5 or 6. We were coming home from grandma's house and I really had to pee, but and we had to pull over because it was pouring down rain
Okay.
and couldn't get out of the car. And I don't remember what happened after that, but yeah, that's what popped up.
Feel the energy in the space that you needed to be in command center. You needed to behave. You knew that if you didn't do this, that what's going to come at you, the very lofty energy, the very fearful thing.
Very lofty energy, very much how dare you have to do anything out of my time frame, my trajectory.
Right. Now, feel as your identity is, oh my God, I can't go pee. I have to. So it's without you, I can't. I can't go pee unless I speak up. I
Mhm.
can't just say I can do this and I can. No, now you have to get permission. Now you have to be with their space. That makes sense?
Uh-huh. I just heard it's okay. They're not going to hurt me.
Right. Because you have to come to that perception, that different
Mhm.
realization. So, what number are you at?
I feel like I'm at a 0.
You are. You are. So, get your hookup on, get your giggles on. I want you to feel the balance. And if I look at the overall yin, it's 100. Overall yang, it's 100. So about 95, 97 for both of those. But that's very good. You're recalibrating, but you don't feel that you have to play the part as the little anymore. It's
Mm-mm.
like, I got this. And it helps the fact that you have big ass centering angels around you that
Uh-huh.
are there.
Yeah.
Um, you get to experience like what I experienced. You can feel them.
Yeah. All the way up here, I was at peace being in the vehicle with them and not necessarily being able to hear them because of my ears and all of the background noise in the car. I was able to be um at ease with that.
Okay.
There, that's better.
That's good. So tell people how memories and emotions can really make you feel that you have to stop and behave, and how you know that you don't have to be the program. How do you know you are in a program?
Ooh, I know when I'm in a program, especially like when I want to cry or when I have to behave a certain way. Um, and to break out of that program is to call yourself back, saying your name and your age at least 3 times, sometimes 5, 10, 15 times. And when you come back into your fixed state, you're like, oh, yeah, I don't have to believe that story. I don't have to believe their way. I get
Exactly.
to choose differently.
Exactly. And do you love that feeling that you have that sovereignty, that autonomy, that ability to choose what emotion, what thoughts, what program you want to run?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I mean, I'm going to be gone for a while and I could, you know, be completely upset and um, worry about the cats and worry about the house and all of these things. And it's like, it's whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Exactly. And you know how to switch timelines now. You're getting much better at it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And like yesterday, I went live and it was like, it felt good. But like the 2 days previous, it was like, no, I couldn't do it because whatever it was that I was working through, it just, I needed to not be on
Yeah,
live at all.
you get to choose what you want to
Hmm.
experience. So that sovereignty, that autonomy, all of it. And you don't have to feel like you got to be in that RTJP, thinking what other people think and having to control yourself. You can just be more of that soulful self and say, okay, this
Hmm.
is how I'm going to show up for myself.
Yeah.
So when do you get on the plane?
I get on the plane boarding starts at 2:15 tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, so you got the hours countdown.
It's like less than 15 hours, I think.
That's awesome.
18 hours, something like, I don't know.
And
It's on
remember,
my phone.
those angels will be guiding you. It'll just you won't you, like, and you know that, and you'll become a resolver. So you're going a different route than I did. But when I got to an area that I've never seen before, and it look can be overwhelming, just stop and say thank you. And thank
Hmm.
you, Spirit. And then all of a sudden, you'll be shown something that maybe you don't know how to read. You go, oh, I'm going to ask a professional. I'm going to go take care of this. You're going to be guided the whole way.
Oh, yeah.
And the experience, I am so ready, and so is he, in this experience that we get to live the way I came over through you. We get to see something completely on a different angle, a different perspective. And to me, that's like, whoa, that's exciting. I'm like, yeah. So I just I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm gonna wait and let it unfold, and then we can discuss things because I'm excited. I
Oh, I
am.
am too. I am too. This is a trip of a lifetime, and I just took some videos on the way up here and did a voiceover and put it up on my TikTok and my YT, and it just it feels different. It feels different than my road trip last fall.
But you have more
It,
confidence from your road
I have
trip.
more confidence. I have the knowledge that everything is okay.
Good, good. That's the one thing that I felt with them. It was like,
Hmm.
oh, there's no
It's
rapid thinking.
no, no. I did that a little bit this afternoon when I got here. Um, but I think I picked up that chaos type energy and it was like, no, I don't have to do this. And finally I calmed down and was like, oh, yeah, no, it's not mine.
Right. So you didn't have to go there. You didn't have to create that into that timeline. You didn't have to run around scissors. You
Right.
got to stop and go, I get to pause before the past and the future. And I get to choose how I want to show up this in the next moment. That's good. Well, you
Yeah.
got this. I know you do. And I'm excited to see you. But here's the thing, because time is different. Um, even how long is the flight?
I'm going to be on a plane for about 21 hours total.
Okay. Okay.
I have a 2 hour and 45-minute flight tomorrow afternoon, and then the flight to Brisbane is 16 hours and 40 minutes. And then the flight from Brisbane to Adelaide is another 2 hours and 45 minutes.
And the time difference is, I can't remember what it is right now.
16 and a half hours because right
Okay.
now
So you're
it's 8:30
basically,
p.m.
yeah, you're basically going to lose a day.
Yeah.
And you're going to
Yeah.
jump timelines to get in the future.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Do your horror points so that your body,
Yes.
do the horror points to the time Adelaide is. Do them now and do
Okay.
them during the plane. Do it every
Okay.
hour or every couple hours or whatever, so that when you get here, your body will go, oh, it won't be in such a shock. Okay.
Okay.
You can prep the body about future events as far as time. And
Okay.
so, so you'll get there. But yeah, you're
Yeah.
going to do just great, and it's exciting. And just imagine you're going to see my face, his
I'm
face.
gonna get to hug you.
We get to pop out of the crowd, and you're going to go, I recognize nobody but them. Yes. So, yeah, yeah. And we see in the planes fly over at a certain time, we're like, yep, that will be Amy's plane that here on this day,
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. All right. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
So angels have got you. That's good. Thank you, Spirit. It's all I got to say. Now, how are you going to do tribal tomorrow?
Um, I land in Dallas at like 5:30 and I'll find my gate and all of that. And I should be able to be in tribal until like probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending.
Well, that'll be good. It'd be great to see you.
So I'll do it
Okay.
just like this.
Okay. No problem. See, easy peasy. Doesn't really have to affect anything. All right. I love you. We'll talk to you later, and you have a good night and get some sleep. And we'll talk to you almost real soon. real.
Real soon. Yeah.
All right. Bye, hon.
Bye.
All righty. So she has an adventure coming up, and I will go through and get the exact time stamps so that we can still post those up. And I'm excited, Christmas and stuff. And we will talk to you soon. Remember, hashtag resolve to evolve. You have it in you to wake up, from this being present in a program. Wake up as your soul, being able to be a spiritual human and allow yourself to look at life completely different and see different perspectives. And this is why we have tribal. So hashtag resolve to evolve, hashtag heal instead of deal, hashtag I can heal myself, hashtag when in doubt, begin to heal it out, hashtag don't waste it, paste it. So if you're going to have a nasty experience, don't have to repeat it. Let's heal this. Let's change this so you don't have to keep repeating it or making it worse. Okay. Hashtag thank you, Spirit. You are blessed. You're already whole. So